For enough stuffing to stuff a 20-pound bird and have a little bit left over for a casserole, melt 12 tablespoons of unsalted butter and add 4 large onions. I like to use a good sweet yellow onion or a white onion, which is really sweet, right into the melted butter. The onion's coarsely chopped. Saute this until it's translucent, just a couple of minutes. When you're making stuffing, it's really a good idea to have all the ingredients prepared ahead of time. After about 2 minutes, add 16 stalks of celery that have been finely chopped. You know, stuffing tends to keep the bird nice and plump looking, and the stuffing really is enhanced by roasting it inside the bird. There's a lot of talk about the dangers of stuffing a bird and roasting it with the stuffing in it, but if you're very careful and don't stuff the bird until right before you're ready to roast it, and that the stuffing and the bird are the same temperature, you really don't have to worry. Continue cooking the celery and the onion for about 5 minutes. Then add 10 sage leaves that have been cut up. These are fresh sage leaves. About 2 teaspoons. Let that cook 5 minutes. And don't forget, while you're preparing the stuffing, to prepare a basic turkey stock using the giblets and the neck of the turkey with a little bit of white wine, onion, carrot, and celery. And let that cook for a couple hours. That's going to be the moisture that you add to the stuffing. And now we can get 2 pounds of the most delicious white bread or peasant bread that you can find. And this we call country bread from our local store in Westport called Heyday. 2 pounds cut into good-sized cubes. I'd say a little bit more than an inch cubed. Now this looks perfect. It's a nice bright color. The celery is soft. The onions are soft. Add about a cup of stock. And now transfer this mixture to half of the bread. You can just pick this up and pour it right in. Wish you were here. The smells are really good. Now this will soften the bread. Add 2 bunches of parsley. And the parsley should be the flat leaf variety, which is very fragrant and finely chopped. Add the rest of your bread. And you're going to add probably about 5 cups of stock altogether to keep this nice and moist. 2 teaspoons of salt, coarse salt, which I always use, the kosher variety. And add 4 teaspoons of freshly ground black pepper. You can look for telecherry peppercorns, whatever smells really good and fragrant. And now add about 3 more cups of stock to this. Add the stock and keep looking at your bread. You don't want it to be soggy and heavy with stock. All you want it to be is moist and fluffy. There I've added about, a little bit more than 3 cups, and because this bread was so fresh, I'm not going to add any more. You don't want it to be real soggy. If the bread were stale bread, it would use a little bit more. But this looks great. It's not soggy, it's just the bread still has a little bit of its shape. And now 2 cups of dried sour cherries and 1.5 cups of chopped fresh pecans. Now you can taste this and just check for the salt and pepper. Well, cool it off and get it into that bird, because you know what? You can eat this whole bowl just as is. It's so good.